Good afternoon, everyone. Today we are going to start our topic on modal auxiliaries. We know about tenses. We have learnt about tenses in our earlier lectures. We have also learnt about determiners, and today we are going to learn something about auxiliaries. Now, first of all, I want you to understand what these auxiliaries are. You know about verb. Verb etle kriyapad. There are two types of verbs. One which is called as the main verb and the other one which is called as the supporting or helping verb. Here we are going to talk about auxiliaries. Auxiliaries is nothing but helping verb. Let us start our presentation on modal auxiliaries. Auxiliary verbs, they help or support the main verb. They are also called as supporting or helping verbs. We usually find that the sentences are meaningless without the auxiliary verbs. Like Sita running on the road. What is the meaning of the sentence? But Sita is running on the road. This is becomes the auxiliary or helping verb. Mainly there are two types of auxiliary verbs. As you can see on the slide, one which is called as the simple auxiliary verb and the other one which is called as the modal auxiliary verb. Now let us see what do you mean by simple auxiliary verbs. Some simple auxiliary verbs are mentioned below, like to become, to be, that is am, is, are, was and were. This am, is, are is for the present tense, was and were is used with the past tense. Have, has, had, do, does, did. All these are the simple auxiliaries. They form the integrated part of a sentence, and when they form the integrated part of a sentence, you cannot disturb these verbs along with the main verbs. Now, what are the modals? We have heard about models walking on the ramps. Consider one such model wearing an western outfit. Consider another such model having an ethnic or a bridal outfit. The same model wearing two different kinds of clothes will look different. Yeah, they will express a different ability. When these are used to express, when the models are used to express any of these concepts, they are called as models. Can, could, will, would, shall, should, may, might, must, mustn't, need, needn't. Now, I told you about the expressions. There are many such expressions which these modal auxiliary verbs show, like say ability. You can also have permission. You can also have expressions like obligation, like promise, like offer or a service, like politeness, right? So these words like can, will, shall, may, must, need and furthermore dare, ought to, have to, had to and am to, all are called as modal auxiliary. Coming back to the slide, can you see what is there in the second part of the slide? The past tense of can is could. The past tense of will is would. You always have a sentence where you can use modals like can, but the past part of the model is could. Similarly, you have would, should, might, and the two downwards, that is must and need. You have the negative version of must and need. You have already learnt about the contracted forms of the words like must not, that is mustn't, need not, that is needn't. Correct? Similarly, you have dare not, that is daren't. Coming to the first auxiliary verb. We usually have the auxiliary verbs where you have to express different moods. Let's begin with the most appropriate and most simple, mostly used auxiliary verb, that is can. Can you see we have got three moods of can? Which are those three moods? One is called as the ability, kshamata, that is ability, right? Possibility, shakyata, permission, that is mangani, permission, right? So all these three are the moods of auxiliary verb. we usually can use the verb can in different kinds of expressions. Like if you want to say I can learn, so here the ability of my, that is, I'm able to learn the things, this has been shown. If I say he can be at the theater right now, that means here the can shows about the possibility. Let us see few more examples where you can have the, okay, can you see this? Ability, I can play golf. The girl shown in the picture is playing golf. Abilities again laikat or shamta. Here can is used for the expression of ability. Our next slide is about possibility, shakyata. It can rain any moment. Now in the previous slide, can is used for an ability. Here the slide is used, here the can is used for possibility. It can rain any moment. Our next one is permission. Can I draw a picture? He is asking, or she is asking for a permission to draw a picture. In all three cases, can is been used. One, to show the ability of the person. In the second, to show the possibility that it may rain. And in third, to ask for a permission. Can you see the same auxiliary used for three different expressions? Here comes could, the past form of can. Could indicates the ability to do something. It is used to express what one was able to do in the past. Again, you have three expressions of could, that is ability, possibility and greater politeness. Let us see the first one, ability. He could play football well. He could play football well. That shows that when he was young, he could play the football well, right? But the word can is not used because the sentence is in simple past tense. Coming to the second expression, that is possibility. He could be at his office right now. He could be at his office right now. Now, listen one thing. Greater politeness એટલે વિનમ્રતા, પણ વધારે પ્રમાણમાં વિનમ્રતા. When you want to show a stress on politeness. Could you please drive the car for me? Here you are showing a stress. Can you please do this work for me? Can you please bring a jug of water? Can you please pick up my luggage? All these, or could you please do this work for me? All these are showing greater politeness. Are you getting it? Here could is used for showing a polite request. A polite request, right? So again revising all the three expressions of could. Ability, he could play well when he was young. Say possibility, he could be at the office right now. And greater politeness, could you please drive the car for me? Our second most famous auxiliary verb, that is may. We usually use may and can most of the cases in English, right? May is used to indicate the following expressions like probability, possibility, polite request, wish or a blessing. Let us see about the probability. There is lot of traffic. We may be late today. From the first part of the sentence, that is, there is lot of traffic. It may happen that they may be late. That is a probability. Chances of getting late are more. Next one, possibility. The flight may have departed by now. The time is over. The flight may have departed, but we are not sure whether the flight has departed or not. Coming to the next one, a polite request. Will you please pick up my bag, or may you please pick up my bag? That is about polite request, right? Wish or a blessing. May Santa Claus bless everyone. Here there is a wish. May God bless you. May you fulfill your wishes, right? So for even giving blessings, we are using may. Might. Might is used as the past tense of may. It indicates the following expression like possibility. The kite might fly high in the air, right? We are not sure whether the kite has flown higher or not. Must. Must is used to indicate the following expressions like necessity. Now remember, here there are so many expressions where you have more than one possibilities. Therefore, you should be very clear where you have to use which auxiliary verb. The sentences given in the examination will have a fill in the blank, and in the bracket expressions will be given. Like for example, ability. Then you may have more than one answers, like it can be can, it can also be may for permission. Okay, now let us start about the auxiliary verb must. Must is used to indicate following expressions. Necessity. Now remember, where can you define that you are required or it is necessary? There are few chances where the things are so much required. You have to first identify, understand the meaning of a sentence. After understanding the meaning of the sentence, you may then define whether the things were necessary or not. Let us see the example. Necessity. My pet cat is ill. It must be taken to a veterinarian doctor. Now, from this, it is required that the person is ill, the pet is ill, and thus it must be taken to a veterinarian doctor. Here, the expression is necessary. We are required to do the things, and thus must is used. Most beautiful example is beautiful expression of must is obligation. You usually use must for obligating things. Usually use must for a meaningful sense, to obligate, to make more emphasis on doing the things, like everyone must park the vehicle at the parking place or else it will be taken away as shown in the picture. Now remember such expressions where you have to give an answer using the expression obligation. Say for example, you must bring your identity cards when you come to college, or you must submit your assignments by the end of this week. Here we are showing, we are obligating the things. Obligation એટલે ગુજરાતીમાં ફરજિયાતપણું. There is a difference between necessity and obligation. Necessity એટલે જરૂરિયાત અને obligation એટલે ફરજિયાત. Now we have to understand the difference between necessity and obligation. In certain cases, like it may be raining, you must wear a raincoat. So the symptoms are there that it may rain, and thus a raincoat is a necessary thing to be brought. But if we say it may be raining, you must come early, that means it might be having a rainy day, therefore you must reach the place early. Here you are obligating, you are making it necessary, or you are making it farajiyat, compulsory to come early. Is that clear? So now you have to be a very clear, you have to have a very clear difference between must and must as an obligation, must as an necessity. Probability or inference. Where else we had found this probability? In may. Yes, correct. So remember, there will be many expressions but a single auxiliary verb. So by looking at the bracket, you have to understand whether a proper auxiliary verb is may or a proper auxiliary verb is must. Here probability or inference. Now what is inference? Do you know what is inference? Inference is nothing but taran kadhu. What is that? By looking at her, we can say that she must be a doctor. Or by when I met, I felt that she must be of 30. It is long I have not met her. She must be looking beautiful by now. Are you getting it? So there are certain cases where there is no proof, there is no evidence. We are here to just visualize whether the things are done or not. That is inference. Inference is tarad kadhu. Right? So that is about must. Must as an inference. Coming to mustn't. Before coming back to mustn't, let me again repeat what we have learnt in must. Yes. We learnt about necessity, we learnt about obligation, and we also learnt about inference or probability. Necessity is jaruriyat, obligation is farajiyat pano, and inference taran kadvu, that is inference. Negative of must is mustn't. Mustn't is the negative form of must. It is used to indicate following expression. What is that? Negative of obligation. Very important. Now listen. There are few chances where you are using mustn't as a negative contracted form. And here we are not showing that there is no obligation. We are showing it is an obligated sentence. We are showing that obligation is required, but the way of showing obligation is negative. Nakaratmak vema, nakaratmak style ma we are showing that it is obligation. Farajiyat panu che, but in a negative way. Are you getting it? Let us see the example. Negative of obligation, you mustn't keep hot iron near children. So what is required? What has been said? It has been obligated. It has been said that you must not keep hot iron near children. Right? So here the things are so much obligated. But it is required that it should not be, it must not be near children. Okay? Next is need. Need is used to indicate following expression like necessity. Earlier we have also learned necessity. Where have we learned necessity? In must. Now the proper word of necessity is need. Jaruriyat, that is need. Let us see. Necessity. One needs to be careful while driving a bike. We all know that it is required to be careful while driving a bike. Why? There are many chances, there are many probability of getting accident, right? So here one needs to be careful while driving a bike. The negative of need is need not or needn't. Need not, needn't is the negative form of need and it is used to show absence of obligation. Remember, we have learnt about negative of obligation, that is must not. Now we are learning about negative of need, that is need not, that is absence of obligation. There is a vast difference. Ek che obligation che, but in a nakarat.